On my mind to this was last night. I mentioned about how the prophet spoke against me, and then like, why did she feel like, when I said prophet against prophet, and I wanted to explain myself. So I wanted to explain myself when I said prophet against prophet. So in Ephesians 4:11, the Bible talks about what he calls apostles and prophets, and I believe all 5 offices are needed in the church. God gave me a revelation on that. I would start with the revelation God gave me on that. The revelation God gave me on that was this. The all 5 offices, when God talks about Ephesians 4:11 that he has called, they are the body of Christ. That's what he gave me. I don't know what he gave anybody else. Meaning, it makes up Jesus Christ. The apostle could be the head. The arm could be the prophet. However you want to put it. It's almost like earth, wind, and fire. I mean, not trying to make you laugh. But it's like when you get all of the offices together, that's when Jesus shows up. The Spirit of Jesus Christ. Just because he deals with me an example. So it's almost like, isn't it? That's how he deals with me. It's like I saw Jesus Christ. Not I saw. But it's like when you get all the elements together, Jesus Christ forms. And it's like that's when Jesus, the Spirit of Christ, walks through the church and people get healed. Listen now, people get healed because you have just those 5 elements, because you need a seer, you need the apostle, you need the pastor. So all of the teacher, you need all of those elements in the church. That's when Jesus, you just form Jesus in a way, because all those characteristics. And he walks through the church. That's when he takes cancer. He goes here. People don't even need to be touched because they just had all the elements. And that's the way he gave it to me, was like, you just form Jesus. And that's when he can walk through. When Jesus walked through and he picks up this and he picks up that. Hey. And he picks up this and he picks up that. It's because you just form Jesus. So that's my on that when he talks about the Ephesians 4:11. But I'm going to talk about my opinion on what a prophet is. Okay. Through life, I was raised in church, as many of my cousins was, and we look at people who say they prophets and stuff. And I have seen people abuse that office. What I mean by that is they have been prophet liars. Meaning, I have been prophesied to a lot in life. And it was like a lot of things they have prophesied, it has been from self or from where they were at. I know when I was married to my first husband, I used to get this feeling, especially when I tried to kick against the bug or act as if I wasn't going to do what he wanted me to do. And I would get this feeling of anxiety over me. I would say it was death. It was a feeling of death, I would say, but it was really anxiety. And I would go to the pastor at the time, and the pastor would say, yeah, I prayed that you would get yourself together. So my husband, what was happening is my first husband wasn't no good. And so he wanted me to get myself together to make my marriage work. So when I would go to him and say when that feeling came on me, it was like, well, you need to get yourself together. See how that was manipulation? You get what I'm saying? Then it was like, even through life, okay, I had a certain prophet or a person who would see things that would say, this man is not good for you. Or they would tell me things about my life not good for you. You shouldn't do this and you should do that. But when I needed food, bread, and water, nobody knocked on my door. And what I didn't understand, if you could tell me what I shouldn't do or how I should live, But when I needed food for my kids, God didn't tell you I needed food, but he could tell you what man I shouldn't be with. That had me confused. So either that was selective prophesying, or either that was you won't hear from God, or you was prophesying from where you was at. I keep saying that. What I mean by that is that people prophesy from where they are at. Meaning, it's hard for me to see you with $1 million when all I can see as a lot of money is 10,000. I can't prophesy you $1 million because as far as my mind would take me is 10,000. So I said, God gonna bless you with a lot of money. He gonna bless you with $10,000. That's as far as I can see. But God can want you to have $1 million. But because I'm only prophesying from where I'm at, something wrong with that. When you prophesy, you ought to be able to see farther from where you're at, because that's what a prophet sees. A prophet is a seer. A prophet sees things that God shows them. A prophet will see you in a Lexus and they driving a hoopty. That's just the way God works. So then I had to deal with that. I was like, God, I didn't understand that. So, all of this was learning lessons for me. You mean to tell me that this person can see this, but they can't see this? Then it was a person who was in my life, and they told me about Destiny's dad. He wasn't no good for me, which he won't, but he gave me Destiny. But when I married my first husband, they was in my life. They didn't tell me he wasn't no good for me. I started thinking about that thing. Why you didn't tell me he wasn't no good for me? To the sense of, you allowed me to go on and marry him. You didn't, but it's just a lot of things. It's just a lot of things I be thinking about. When it comes to people who said they're prophets. They said God uses them. And then what gets me, these prophets who come to you, or have came to me with, this is going to happen to you. This is going to happen to you. If you don't do this, God is going to get you. And they leave. And here you is, your heart beating hard, and you thinking that you done something wrong, and if you don't get it right, you going to die. God don't work that way. I had to learn that. God don't work that way. Show me in the Bible where God worked that way. It's true. He went to Hezekiah. But then God sent that same prophet to build Hezekiah back up. So if a prophet comes to you to tell you something bad, that same prophet is going to come to you and tell you something good. Meaning that if I come to you and say, if I say I'm a prophet and I come to you and I say, if you turn loose this and stop doing this, then God is going to do such and such for you. That means if God sent me to tear you down, He going to send me to build you up. I'm not going to walk away like that. God is not that type of God to leave you heartbroken or, scared half to death. And that's the way they used to do me. I used to be scared half to death. Lord, they done prophesied that to me. I don't know what I'm going to do because they done told me this and I know they're a prophet. No, God don't work that way. I'm giving my opinion of a prophet now. God don't scare people to serve Him. He don't do that. Then they'll say, oh, this is a good one. Oh, I know people going to hate me for this one. But I don't care. They ain't got to call me. They ain't got my number. And they can easily just, with this video, they ain't got to listen to it. If you want this prophecy, give me $50. Give me $200. Get in my $200 line. I don't understand that one. Why are you paying for something they didn't pay for monetarily? Meaning God chose them for that gift. So why are you paying them for it? I don't understand that. Now, in the Bible, when apostles and stuff went out, people brought things, they should prophesy to you to the point, or preach to you to the point you want to give, or you want to bless them. And their faith should be to the point They should be to the point, I serve God. God going to take care of me. So I shouldn't have to have a line to get my more money. I should just serve God, and God going to take care of them. Somebody going to bless them. So if you can pay them for a word, what's the difference in you calling the psychic hotline? You might be a little cheaper. I'm just telling you the truth. You might be a little cheaper. The only difference is you're paying them in the church. You're getting in the church line. Just telling you how I feel about it. So I don't get that. You got to pay somebody for a word from God. You're doing the same thing. You call it 1-800-PSYCHIC-SUE. So, when I, myself, came into my gift, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Woo, did I get some flashbacks. Woo, people told me I had word of knowledge. One girl told me, oh, I don't need nobody to tell me what's going on with me. And I remember one day I was in church and God had gave me something to tell a girl about her surroundings. She didn't like it. Because there are different type of prophets. You have warning prophets. You have prophets that bless you. There's different types of prophets. Oh, she didn't like that thing. And she went to another girl in church. And the girl told me, it was her cousin. I guess it was her cousin. And she was like, yeah, she told me that you said you call yourself giving me some kind of prophecy. It wasn't long for that girl was out of church because of her surroundings. Another lady gave me something, and she didn't like it. But it wasn't long, she was at the same church. But I said that to say this. When people come with prophecies and prophets, you will know if they're from God. You will know if a prophet comes from God. Number one, most of the time they'll confirm. God will send some type of confirmation to let you know that they're from God. It'll be some type of confirmation. How can I put this? Because, sometimes people know you. And they'll prophesy to you too. And it's kind of say, well, they know about me. You be like, well, they know about me, so they prophesy to me. But usually, you know a prophet by the way they come to you. And then a prophet too got to be careful of what they say. Because God will honor certain things. Being a prophet, you got to be careful of what you say. But a lot of people, they just going around calling themselves prophets. So they coming to the knowledge of things when they call themselves their prophet. And one thing about prophecies, I'm going to tell y'all something now. Don't knock prophecies, because prophets are in the Bible. They are in the Bible, and it is a gift. And another thing is this. Prophecies, you can have a person that prophesies and not save. Let me tell you why. Because the gift is there. The gift can be there and they not be saved. A person don't get the gift of prophecy or become a prophet when they get saved. They born with that. It's like a singer. A singer is born to sing. They don't learn how to sing once they get saved. They are born with the gift of singing. Follow what I'm saying? That's like a preacher. When they're born that God going to allow them to preach. So every gift, like a pastor, they're born with that. You don't get saved and it says, oh, God, make me a prophet. No. That is before you was born. That is before you was born. That's why when that child was a child, you be like, why that child can tell me things and that child don't know? Because the gift is there. Because that child had that as a child. When that child was a child, that child has that gift. People think, well, that person is not saved. How can that person tell me something and they not saved? Because the gift is there. And I'm going to bust a lot of people bubble right now. I was smoking cigarettes and telling people about their life. Yes, I was. I was smoking cigarettes, telling people about their life. I was smoking cigarettes, telling people a lot of things because the gift was there. So do not knock people when they come tell you things because how they look. Don't look at the package. Just look at what's in the package. Because it could be a message for you. But people think y'all to come all fixed up. Sometimes them fixed up packages be empty. Or you look for it to come a certain way. But that's what I want to say, my opinion of a prophet. Everybody got their opinion of a prophet. No, I'm tired of these people scaring people half to death. Half to death. Either you do this or do that. No, God is love. And that's what God is teaching me. He loves us that much. He will love you to Christ. He loves us to him. When I talk about people say, well, they call themselves a prophet. I don't knock nobody what they call themselves. I look at what they're saying. Don't come tell me about a car. Don't come tell me about a house. Because people talk about you going to get blessed with a car. You going to get blessed with a house. Or you going to get blessed. No, give me something deeper than that. And don't give me no emotion. I never understood that they got to turn around 4 and 5 times. Make all these hooping noises before they give you a word. Stand there and tell me what you got to tell me so I can hear what you got to say. Don't be jumping around and doing all this stuff. Just tell me what you got to say so I can hear you. Because eventually in life, guess what? I'm going to get a car. Eventually in life, guess what? I'm going to get a house. Tell me something. Give me some direction. If you a seer, give me some direction to get me to where I need to get to. Tell me what God is saying in my situation. Do he want me to wait? Do he want me to go? What do he want me to do to get out of this mess? Give me some. What do he want me to do not to get caught up? Those are things I want you to tell me. Do I stay in this marriage or do I go? I know this girl one time, I ain't gonna tell her name, but she came to my house. She was going through some things. And with her husband, it was pretty bad. And she came to my house and she was like, her husband had went out, got a baby and stuff, and she was crying. She was in my living room, and the kids, it was about 11 o'clock. And this girl, pretty girl, and she was in the living room and she was just talking to Wanda. And he got a baby. And God told me to tell this girl, and she was ready to get a divorce, leave him and everything. God told me to tell this girl, give him 3 months. And honey, when I told that girl, I said, just give God 3 months. She was not looking for me to say that. I said, just give God 3 months. If that girl had eyes, she would have killed me. If eyes could kill, she would have killed me. But guess what? They're together right to today. Thank God. That's what I'm talking about. When a prophet comes to you, don't worry about the cars and houses that he's telling you. He needs to give you some direction. Because if you're going through something, he ought to be able to give you something, some substance that's going to take you. Everybody, like I said, eventually everybody can get a car and a house. Tell me something. Tell me something. You understand? Tell me something that's going to help get me over this hurdle. Tell me something to let me know God is hearing my prayer. Because telling me I'm going to get a car ain't going to let me know, because I'm not praying about a car at this time. I could be praying about, unless I'm praying about a house and a car. Now, if I'm praying about a house and a car, that's one thing. But even to that, God will give you direction. But tell me something. If I'm dealing with a hurt, if I'm dealing with a pain, tell me something about that. Tell me how to get over that. Go in depth with me on what to do. And see for me. And that's what God does when it comes to a prophet. He gives you direction. He's a seer. He helps you out. But that's all I got to say what my opinion about a prophet is. It's not to scare you half to death. You know, and like I said, I never understand these prophets who could tell me how to live. Like one lady left a long note in my mailbox telling me about the guy I was dating at that time wasn't no good for me. But she turned around and married a man. I'm going to leave it just like that. Anyhow, but you can tell me about the man I was dating. But when I needed money, but when I was struggling and strained and the lights was off, God did not touch your heart when you saw me to give me $20. It is something wrong with that. And how I know, and I'm going to say it one more time, there's something wrong with that, because I have been in the store and I have bought food for people I did not know. Because God told me to. He said, buy that food, and I did it. I have had less money, and God told me to give, and I gave it. And these are the people I did not know. And I'm talking about the people I know. People I did not know. So if I can do that for people I didn't know, you mean to tell me God did not touch nobody's heart to bless me? The same people that can tell me, that try to tell me how to run my life, because God told them for me not to date this man and date that man, but God didn't tell them that all I had was pancake mix in the house? Come on now. That's selective hearing. Or is something wrong with the connection? I think it's something wrong with the connection. No, they was prophesying from themselves. They was prophesying. Of course the man wasn't no good for me. Certain men you look at it and tell ain't no good. Don't come tell me God told you. You just tell me you don't think he no good for me. But that's all I'm going to say about that. Be careful who whisper in your ear. That's all I'm going to say. Be careful who whisper in your ear. Put things in your spirit. Because a lot of stuff is not from God. It's from them. Be blessed.